My name is Colton Hunt, the American colleague here at Entertainmenthook. When I joined the site, at first, I just shared my movie reviews from my YouTube channel. But then, the higher-ups got an idea. They wanted to see what an American would make of their media. This is An American Reacts To. Hey everyone. So back in September of this year, I did a reaction video for a couple of clips for the cartoon series Alfred J. Kwak. Since then, I have watched the first 3 episodes of this series, so I decided to make this follow-up video to give you an idea as to what I currently think of the cartoon. Long story short, I am enjoying it so far. Each episode flowed at a swimming pace, the animation was nice, and the voice acting for the most part was pretty good. Alfred himself is a likable character, when not causing trouble that is, and I liked how he was willing to put the safety of others above himself, such as in episode 3, though I will get back to that in a moment. Now then, the part that really stuck out with me in these 3 episodes was in episode 2, where Alfred's parents and siblings are all tragically killed in a hit and run. Granted, we only see Alfred's nest flying in the air and landing on the pavement after the incident, but that still made for an effective image. Interesting bit of trivia is that scene was inspired by the creator of the series accidentally running over a duck and feeling terrible about it. Especially when he later saw a mother duck and her children and imagined that he killed the father. So yeah, that was a pretty heavy way to start a cartoon meant for children, but I respect them for doing so. If you have an important point to make about something, such as the unfairness of death, it's best to not beat around the bush. That being said, the death of Alfred's family does bring up a mild issue I had with the episodes I watched. That being that the show doesn't seem to know what kind of tone it wants. For example, in the first episode, 1 minute we had Alfred's parents falling in love, and then a few minutes later, a group of greedy land developers are demolishing where they live to build a theme park, which leads to the 2 of them trying to move away, resulting in their tragic deaths in the second episode. Following that, we then find Alfred falsely being accused of stealing the king's ruby, and being tried and nearly sentenced to death. Oh, and there's also racism in this story, with a pair of crows making disparaging remarks about ducks. But amongst all this, we find the characters also engaging in moments of slapstick comedy and other lighthearted stuff that wouldn't be out of place in a children's fantasy. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything bad with putting these 2 tones together, I just don't know what kind of show I'm signing up for. Are the dark elements the norm? Do they only pop up every once in a while? It's kind of jarring to say the least. Though I will say the dark elements did make for some compelling drama, such as in episode 3 where, as I said, Alfred is tried and almost sentenced to death because he refuses to give up the name of the person that actually stole the king's ruby, which was his friend Grabby, but it was actually just a blameless accident, but well, that's a long story. Either way, it certainly kept my attention, as I only intended to watch 1 episode, but I wound up watching 3 instead because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. Now then, let's look at some of the questions that the higher-ups have sent me this time. Question 1. Do you have a different idea what this cartoon is about? At the moment, I don't, though I will chalk that up to having only seen 3 episodes. I'm sure once I get a few more episodes into the show, I'll start to understand. Question 2. Do you remember seeing cartoons with adult themes like this? In terms of things such as racism and the unfairness of death, yes I can. Probably one of the most notable cartoons I can think of growing up was the movie The Land Before Time, which not only killed off Littlefoot's mother before the first act was even finished, but flat out had the characters segregated by species. Again, that was a heavy thing to show kids, but I respected them for doing so. Question 3. Would you recommend the English dub to American audiences? The jury is still out on that one. While I am personally enjoying the show, I would need to watch a few more episodes to see if it's something others might find engaging. Question 4. Would you show this cartoon to children? Yes. While it doesn't shy away from dark subject matter, it demonstrates it in a tasteful way, as opposed to being done just for its own sake. And while the more colorful and lighthearted moments might seem jarring for adults, they can serve as a good palate cleanser for kids and keep them tuning in for more. And question 5. Most millennials in the Netherlands remember this series, and it is still being shown in reruns. Why do you think it's so popular? This is admittedly a guess, but going back to my first reaction video, it might be because of the show going beyond simply being about the adventures of a cartoon duck and featuring things audiences can recognize from real life, such as racism to a bunch of crows behaving like Nazis. Yeah, I'm really curious as to how this show gets to that point. Okay, that does it for today. Be sure to be on the lookout for more of my Alfred J. Kwak videos in the future, and as always, if you want to see any of my personal content, you can find it on my YouTube channel of Huntsie D 2012. Until then, you all stay hooked on Entertainment Hook. I will see you all next time. Bye.